What's up, everybody?
Hey, how we doing?
Welcome to Burning Hammer Wrestling.
Yeah.
We're back again. My name's Seth Skinner. This is Dave Reed.
Howdy.
And we like to talk about wrestling.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah. First things first, go to w.gg.
Oh, yeah.
Use the promo code Clear Shots. You will get 10% off your entire order. So do that. You support the show. And you get your energy.
Yeah. Yep.
I drink it every day.
You'll definitely get energy from it. That's for sure.
It's good shit.
It is.
All right. Let's see. First things first. Now, so Jey Uso won the Rumble. We talked about it on our
I think so.
Post-show thing.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, what the fuck? Why are his entrances 12 minutes long every show? Like, why the fuck?
I'll tell you why. Because he's super over and he's getting really crazy crowd reactions. So
like,
they let him just milk it forever.
And then they're like, one more time.
And he's on Netflix. He's on the Raws on Netflix.
Yeah, so they don't have a time limit.
They don't have a time limit. So if they wanted to stretch it, they can. You know?
It's like you're at the point where like you can basically skip the first like 8 minutes of the show.
It is just his entrance. Yeah.
I mean, okay. It's like, all right, I get it, man.
That's so funny. Man, it's been pretty cool seeing Jey post winning the Rumble though. Like he's
it's like
he deserves it.
It's like, yeah. I mean, yeah, good for him. And it's like, fuck. But I think for the viewers at home, it gets like.
Oh, yeah. No question. I feel like, aside from the entrance thing, though, Jey Uso winning the Rumble is a real big shakeup.
Yeah, I think
it was weird. Anybody expected it.
The way, like, Monday, the way they, like, was it Monday? The way they like threw Gunther into like they expedited that real quick. The whole he's going after Gunther's title thing.
Yeah.
And it was just like it was like during his entrance and Gunther pulls him down off the announce table or whatever.
Yeah.
It felt abrupt. I don't know. It just felt it just kind of felt quick and Jey was like, I shouldn't do this or whatever. I want you at WrestleMania or whatever. It's like, okay.
Like he didn't take time to plan his shot, which makes you go, are they really going to have him lose? I don't know. But if he doesn't, I think it's smart to have him face Gunther because I think Cena or Punk are going to be tied up with Cody in some way.
It's tough. Like, when you the power gauge is weird, right? Because Gunther is like built like a monster right now. And he's beating most of his opponents.
Mm-hmm.
But and then it's like Jey Uso like tends to lose matches here and there, and it's a little different. They build him a little bit less.
He has a lot of momentum right now, though.
Of course he does.
I mean, he just won the friggin' Rumble. Of course he does, but
yeah, that's going to be an interesting match, but like, I don't know. I feel like there could have been more to the conflict there between him and deciding.
I guess there still might be. We still have a couple months to get there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
Look at last year, how much things changed in this time. So it's like, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it does look as of right now like Jay's going after Gunther.
Well, he literally said it, but it's like, I don't know. That's why I was wondering, like, maybe they should just milk him not being able to decide. But the problem with that is it holds up Cody's side of the thing.
Yeah. So,
and he doesn't need to be held back anymore. Like a lot of his storyline's it feels like a lot of waiting on Cody's end.
I think so. And I think what they're doing right now with Cody, like, he's not heel, but he's losing all his friends. And the promo segment that he had with Punk, where Punk laid out to him, it was like the first time it kind of got acknowledged in words to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I know what you're going through right now, what it actually means to have all of the weight on your shoulders and what it does to you.
Yeah.
How it changes you, how it, So I think they've been teasing the heel turn of Cody, and it's going to be glorious if they do it. And if they don't, I won't be mad. But there's definitely hinting at that. Not that they're going to do it, but they're bringing in that aspect to the story of like, hey, there's a conflict. It's not that simple being the guy with the company on your shoulders.
I think what they want is him to do some things that are questionable, where your fan base starts to split and like wants him to turn heel.
Maybe, yeah,
because like it's a different thing now. Like I don't know, just the way fans look at things. We know, like the transparency, like we talked about.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. You can want someone to go heel, and you can also and still give that feedback to them.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a different thing. Whereas like when Hogan turned heel, it was just like everybody liked Hogan as a face, and then you just flip it on its head.
Yeah,
which there's something to be said about that too.
Throwing trash in the ring at him and shit.
Yeah, and but they're completely different things.
Yeah,
you can move it slowly, and I always like that too. The slow turn.
I like that they're doing slow burn stories.
Yeah,
and it only works because they acknowledge their own history. We've talked about this before as well, how like one of the biggest differences in storytelling with Triple H at the helm is that he doesn't have guys just miraculously forget what happened like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly a good guy.
Yeah.
Even though I was despicable 6 months ago, and everybody's just got to act like I'm a good guy now.
Well,
like
that's works one of the best things. In a multiple, like, so also you can go like, here's this storyline on Raw this week. Next week, there's nothing that has anything to do with that storyline
because they've got so much,
and you can carry that.
And I think that's something we mentioned too, was like how it seems like they are starting to get in this A show, B show rotation, storyline wise with their show. So like on Netflix, on Raw, on Netflix rather, you're getting like, here's like a bunch of Cody stuff and maybe like, I don't know, whatever, like here's show set A of stories. They're going to be on week 1, and week 2 you're going to develop the B set of stories.
Yeah, it's a bi-weekly program.
Valuable.
I think that's cool. Like, so like Alexa Bliss, her match was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then she didn't show up the next week. So it's like, you probably will see something from that in the next one.
That's so nice for the roster too.
Oh yeah.
Because now people are going to have more time off without feeling like they're not visible, because they're on a 2-week rotation instead of an every week rotation.
It's better because, plus it's better because you don't have to force anything.
No.
You don't have to be like, what are we going to do
You're never going to feel like somebody's too shoved down your throat either.
Right.
Because they're not going to be there every friggin' show,
Yeah, I do like it, and it's like in one way, it's like, dang, I want to see more of that, or whatever. But
that's a good thing, because eventually you are going to get more of it,
and it keeps you watching because you don't know, you might get more of it.
You might,
that week.
We don't know what they're going to show us week to week.
Yeah,
and they know, and that's a good.
Unless you're Michael Cole and you read the dirt sheets.
Yeah, I love that, dude. That's so funny, man. Yeah, Penta's killer. That's we don't even need to go into that, but the dirt sheet thing is wicked funny So what else do you have going on?
Punk and Sami Zayn was awesome on Raw. That match was was really good. Yeah.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah. I felt like I had to mention that match.
And that's a big one too, because again, with backstage stuff, they've acknowledged that like there was tension there backstage because of the Ring of Honor days.
Yeah.
With Kevin Owens and Sami versus CM Punk. Not literally versus, but just like those are the two sides to the conflict behind the scenes. And clearly it looks like that is in real life squashed, at least enough for them to work together.
Yeah.
The match was unbelievably good. Oh, well, exactly. They're professionals.
Yeah, it's your job.
But the ending was great too. And then like, Kevin Owens coming out and attacking Sami and hitting him with a pile driver, dude. I think they're setting up for Sami versus Kevin at Mania.
Yeah.
I hope. I think
so
that
too.
is like
Did we mention it? Did we talk about that? I feel like we slightly mentioned that somewhere.
But either way, Owens and Sami have been checking off a million different boxes in their careers, and that's like the one is to face each other at Mania.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, shit. Yeah. Well, they've had matches together a million times, but it's like.
But their whole careers,
Mania is different.
They've dreamed of that, you know, as friends. So I'm sure that they, in real, like behind the scenes, those guys are going, we're going to get to do Mania.
The thing about those two is they will deliver, and you know that they're going to. Because they're so...
they're two of the best in the world. And they know each other or anybody else.
Yeah.
And they're having incredible matches. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they're creative with their spots too when they, you know.
And they're both having the best runs of their careers right now. Like they've both done great things, but right now they have entered this territory where they are like top guys in the top guy club that can not have to be around the world title and be doing top level compelling story.
If you think about it, they are definitely main eventers.
They're absolutely top guys that don't need to be on the title. Mm-hmm. Except for, I would argue, at some point, Sami must win it.
Win a title, yeah.
He must win the big one. He cannot go down as a guy like Mr. Perfect, where you go, oh, Sami's one of the best ever that just never won the big one for some reason. It's like, no, he's too important.
Yeah, I kind of can't believe that it hasn't happened by now.
Can't either, man. Can't either. He's the one guy I can think of off the top of my head that I'm like, you just have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all the other guys that I would love to see win it are guys that they're just newer. They're on the way up, you know? They may. You know,
I mean, Owens has had so many good runs that
unbelievable.
It's hard to even say that this is one of his best runs because, like,
it's like Shinsuke Nakamura was a guy I thought of that I was like, I'd like to see Shinsuke win it. He's already won it.
Yeah,
he's already been a world champ.
Yeah,
and now he's just doing side quests and surfing and shit.
Well, that's another thing. I wonder if I don't know how recently we talked to it, but the LA Knight thing, the Shinsuke thing, there was something that should have been built there, I felt like.
And it just kind of
disappeared.
They went a different direction with it. Yeah. I don't know why, but I know LA Knight's been, was it Drew that switched shows? To SmackDown?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Drew switched to SmackDown, and now he's instantly feuding with LA Knight. Kind of like somewhat.
Someone else switched shows. Did Miz switch shows?
He did.
And so did the Wyatts. And he's like, well, I switched to get away from the Wyatts or whatever.
Yeah. I heard Bray, or not Bray, well, of course, Dallas. Bray. I heard Bo Dallas is injured.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to put a hamper on Alexa because...
I don't know. I think they can let that wait.
They can let it wait, sure. Yeah. But I think the storyline they wanted was to put her in there because they keep flashing things on the screen during her match.
They could tease it forever. They could tease it as long as they want.
That's fair, yeah.
And have her keep just wrestling singles. And then whenever Uncle Howdy's back, when we get Bo back, and he's able to be working again, like he's whatever happened is recovered, and he's just you're seeing him on TV again. Then you start building.
It didn't say it was an injury. It just said an unlisted reason, which you got to think it was probably just an injury.
Okay, but. I saw online it was an injury, but who knows how? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, all I saw was that it wasn't known entirely, but
we also saw online that Alexa Bliss was not coming to terms with WWE. Yeah. And now she's in Elimination Chamber.
Right.
And I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yep. The first thing I said about it was, please, for the love of God, let Alexa Bliss be back full time. Mm-hmm. And evidently she is. Yeah. So
yeah, that's necessary. Dude. That's huge.
That is huge. That is huge.
I think you're gonna get her and Liv Morgan.
I want that match so bad.
Yeah, they're two.
It's absolutely guaranteed to be incredible.
Yeah, I wonder what Rhea's going to be doing.
I want to see Alexa and Rhea also wicked bad. I'd like to see Alexa win the Elimination Chamber. I think her fan reaction warranted it alone. When she came back, she got the biggest pop of anybody. Charlotte came back and they treated her like a god, and she didn't get half the pop that Alexa did. And I like Charlotte. I've always been a defender of Charlotte. I think that she's very smart at she came back, she had this huge struggle to get back, and I don't think they represented that well. We never saw any of that.
No.
You know? We never got to see a sympathetic image of her, or a image of her able to be sympathized with.
They didn't present it that way.
No, they just showed her on jets and shit, and it was like, I guess, but you're not gonna and then she came out and tried to cut a promo like she was emotional, and
no one
gave a fuck. They just booed her immediately. And props to her for recognizing it wasn't working and going, okay, fuck it, I'm a shit heel again. It's got to be a bummer. I'm sure that's a bummer.
She was
her.
Rattled. It seemed like.
I'm sure she's bummed about that, because it probably is a legit emotional thing for her. But she busted her ass to get back.
I don't think she did come out expecting a different reaction.
Absolutely,
that's what it seemed like.
Absolutely, she did.
I don't know, but you can't. How do you expect a different reaction though? Because people are frustrated with. I don't think people always like when someone comes back and immediately gets a title shot. That's not a. That's
but it's
not
also you have to address the fact that it's Charlotte specifically, because she has always been the chosen one of the women's division who was the world champ over and over again when people were begging for it to be anybody else.
And that's exactly what people hate. The same
that's
thing.
What they hate.
Same thing. Roman Reigns.
Yep. People hated
even
that
Cena.
too.
Cena went through the same thing.
Cena went through it too. And Charlotte, here's the reason why I always defend her is because she's one of the best women's wrestlers ever, and that's never going to be up for debate.
Yeah,
she's just too good.
Yeah,
and that's like Logan Paul. The difference is Logan Paul is a legit scum human, and it's well known. But he's so good in the ring, it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It almost makes it better.
It does make it better.
It elevates him as a heel more. Same with Charlotte. You can say whatever you want. You can hate her and you can boo her as hard as you want. You will never be able to say that she's not one of the best women's wrestlers that's ever lived.
Yeah,
it can't be said.
Yeah, no, her in-ring ability isn't really.
She's in a category with very few others.
It's just so many things that compile that people don't like. It's like, she's Ric Flair's daughter.
She's Ric Flair's daughter. She's won the title a million times.
Yeah, and she just keeps getting pushed.
Always keeps getting put immediately right in the top spot.
And there's times where people like it, like when the Hardys came back in 2020 or whenever,
and instantly won the tag,
and they won the tag titles.
Yeah, but they were gone from WWE for years, though.
Yeah, and they're huge fan favorites no matter what. The difference with Charlotte is she's coming back and fans are upset about it.
The crowd would have been obsessed with it if Alexa came back and won. They would have exploded.
Yeah.
They booed wicked hard when she got eliminated because they wanted her to win immediately when they saw she was back.
Yeah.
It just proves the point.
They're like, oh, she's in
Charlotte,
here? That changes everything.
They see her come back and they go, Ghana. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I totally understand that perspective.
I totally get it. And that's the thing.
And I agree with that perspective.
Exact. I agree with it as well. I do not want to see Charlotte come back and just take the proverbial sledgehammer to all the storylines and go, no, I'm champ. I have to be champ though, because Rick, so I'm just champ. Yeah. Deal with it. I don't care. You're going to make the belt not matter then. What will make you matter is if you don't fucking win everything all the time and you swerve the crowd and fucking lose.
Well, she's in a great spot to be heel and put talent over.
That's the thing. She puts talent over.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
And
that
she can do it as a heel.
She put Rhea on the map.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah,
huge, dude. Did the job to her at Mania for the belt to put her on the trajectory.
Yeah. No, I think she's in a great position to do that. She doesn't need another world title.
I don't think she gets... I think she gets more hate than she deserves. However, I will totally agree that I don't want to see her... I don't even know if it's necessarily her doing. It's not like she has creative control. I don't want to see the company put blinders on to how great they've made everything by mixing it up and just rely on only her for the next 2 years.
I want them to have the wherewithal to be like, we have built like good, like
they have
solid
the craziest women's division of all time.
Yeah. Instead of going like, we still need to build these people. No, that's not the case.
Because that is why Charlotte was the flagship for so long, is because they were still building the division.
Yeah.
They don't need her to be the flagship anymore. So she's free to do storylines.
Yeah.
She's in the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens boat, where you don't need them around the world title for them to be doing top guy storyline stuff and positioning. She can still be in the top level stuff, but she doesn't need to be champion anymore.
Right.
At least not right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look how starving for Cena to win it again people are. It's because he took a break from being the only fucking guy. With Charlotte, have her back, have her be involved in other things that are still high level and still get time.
Yeah, so
and then
there's not going to
eventually people won't be pissed
there won't be a problem
have her
with,
go after the title again.
I don't think people are going to be upset at her getting screen time. I just don't think they don't want the title.
They're afraid of it being a backstep in the division.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you, but I just don't buy that they're going to do that.
It's not going to go that way.
Good luck getting that to take place, and she doesn't get ousted by the locker room by the likes of everybody else on the roster.
Yeah.
Because that'll happen. If she comes in with an ego and tries to be like, I'm the only person, you got to go ahead and tell Rhea Ripley that you're going to outsell her merch.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, the reality is I'm not going to hate if she, in the long run, I'm not going to hate it if she gets a title and drops it.
No, me neither.
But I'm not going to love it. Like in real time, I'm not going to love it. You know what I mean?
You're going to go, of course.
But, sometimes it's like we said, with Cena and Reigns, you look back and then you're like, oh, like these are the GOATs. You know what I mean? Like these are some of the best ever. And, they went through this phase.
Through it. Yeah. And I think that with Charlotte, it's going to be, she's going through that same shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to look at that. And
when all of a sudden, like the second she decides to retire, she's going to go directly in the Hall of Fame. And people will be praising her like she's one of the greatest of all time. She'll be remembered forever as one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
There will no more booze. No more booze.
Right.
But in her run, people have just seen so much of her at the top with a stranglehold on that belt that they don't want to see it go back to that.
You would think she would understand that, but I think she thinks that she was gone long enough to where
I think
the tide was gonna turn there.
I think she loves the idea of being the top champion because who the fuck gets into wrestling to not be?
Right. You know? But she doesn't maybe she just doesn't know how strong this division is right now. Because it's actually
been gone for a long it has blown wide open.
Yeah.
The past year.
There was releases too recently that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Because Isla Dawn is
of all time. That was unexpected.
Yeah.
She's very good.
Sonya Deville, Blair Davenport.
Blair Davenport,
that
I thought was expected because
that made sense.
Yeah, she just didn't connect, and
there was no.
It just is what it is. I hope that she ends up somewhere. Like, of course, I want to see all the wrestlers do well. But
yeah, I'm sure she'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
Authors of Pain.
That was the most funny to me because I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Those guys got released before because they didn't translate to the main roster and just kind of didn't do anything.
Yep.
And then Triple H brings them back to join Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And they just still didn't matter at all.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They're sick. They're very sick. But they have zero personality.
There's no charisma whatsoever.
There's no charisma.
They're
just big hoss guys that are there to do power moves, which I love. But that's not that is a there for a good time, not for a long time.
Paul Ellering
which is what
Isla
Dawn said. Yeah. She said, here for a good time, not a long time. See you in 90. I love that, dude.
Yeah.
She's going to be something.
Cedric Alexander got released too.
That's interesting.
I didn't even know he was. I didn't even know he was still on the roster.
Me neither. And he should go over to AEW and join up with Bobby and those guys. For sure. That's a no-brainer.
Giovanni Vinci. And then you lost
That's another
Carl
one that's
Anderson.
kind of a bummer because he was originally rolling with Gunther.
Yeah.
But Gunther and
he's been off screen for a long time though.
He kind of got he just wasn't connecting like the other two, though. In that group.
I'm surprised that you are able to get it's because like you have Gunther and like I don't know, it's weird when you have
say they didn't try. You know, they gave him
it's
the
just
opportunity
weird when
to
you
come
have
up with a whole new gimmick.
Similar gimmicks.
They worked with him to try to create a new gimmick, and it didn't connect, and he floundered. At that point, you cannot say that they didn't try with him, it just didn't work, so you got to let him go.
Yeah.
You know, let him go elsewhere and try to do it himself. You know?
You look at Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, and they have similar gimmicks, but they're different in so many ways.
Different level, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is really good. I really hope he gets a big fucking push.
He is unbelievable, dude. Mm-hmm. And that was my point, is Kaiser and Gunther were so obviously had charisma in buckets and could talk all day on the mic, and they had a thing. And Vinci was just kind of there. Yeah. And when they turned on him and kicked him out, it made perfect sense storyline, and it ended that dude's run, because as soon as he wasn't tied to them, that's a wrap.
That was it. He was just collecting checks until
and good on him. Good on him for collecting checks, but at the same time, you know,
Gallows and Anderson are the other two
that's the other
I forgot they were there too.
Where they been?
Well, I don't remember them being anywhere since AJ Styles.
Have the weirdest careers of all time.
Well, yeah,
they have spent like the past 10 years
Anderson.
Not wrestling, getting huge paydays, just broing on the road. Uh-huh. It's so funny.
It is awesome. And then they got to work with AJ Styles.
Yep. And they're wicked good on the mic. They're wicked funny.
Yeah.
They're well liked behind the scenes, but they know everyone's going, what do you do with these guys? Go back to Japan and finish up your careers. Yeah. That's what you do.
But they also, so like you lose all these people, right? But
the biggest thing, by far biggest thing we got to talk about.
NXT's been on fire. Well, there's two things. Well, yeah. Ricky Starks, obviously.
That's 1A. That's the biggest acquisition they've had in a long time. Yeah. Penta and Ricky. And Ricky's a guy.
The debut is hilarious too. He just shows up.
Yep. Just walks out and the crowd goes fucking crazy. Ricky's a guy that if you looked at the entire roster of AEW and went, who's the guy that's the most likely to be a mega star, mega star, they're just doing zero with? He's the very first guy I go, Rick Starks. Immediately. Yeah. He was so good.
Yeah, he's got
every
just
category and oozed it.
Yeah,
like he
just a vibe
has
to him.
mega it factor. Mm-hmm. He can talk, he can wrestle, he's got a great look. Everything about him is perfect. He's literally ready to just go, I'm on main roster and I'm in major storylines. Yeah. And I think the only reason they brought him to NXT is because they've just already got everything's already planned for Mania. And so why would you bring them in and just go, let's throw a wrench into Mania shit? Yeah. They saw how they made gold with it last year with Rock, but he's not Rock. So what are you going to do with him? You know?
Right.
It's better to bring him into NXT and let him show everybody on NXT how big of a deal he is. And then he'll be off to the races.
The thing that's weird too is NXT is becoming just another show.
It is.
It's not really a development show anymore.
No. Like it kind of is, but now that they have LFG,
exactly,
and the Performance Center operates behind closed doors,
right?
So it's like
that is their development.
That's
shows.
The real developmental center developmental.
I would like to watch that, the LFG. It looks but I don't have A&E. I don't know how the fuck I get A&E.
I know. The fact that it's Bubba Ray and Taker on there with Booker T and Mickey James, I'm like, that's a great squad.
Yeah, I watched a shot of Gunther on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on there talking to the talent.
It looks a million times better than any of the Tough Enough seasons ever.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
It's like a repackaged Tough Enough, but it looks way more real. It doesn't look like it's a shitty reality show. It looks like it's a legit thing.
I don't know
they're
if we
doing.
Can show that or not. That's A&E.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's right there, and it's like it's begging me to watch it. Though.
I know, but on the air is a bad idea. Patreon eventually.
The funny thing is, we put up a AEW clip and they let us use it. So
yeah, well, because the clip we put up was positive. If you put up AEW clips knocking them, they'll have that shit taken down so fast.
Then NXT also, Fandango.
Yeah,
showed up.
I like that,
and it was under Fandango too, which is another interesting thing.
Shit, I love it
because I mean we've been talking about Ziggler, and it's like, you know, if he ever came back, would they put him under that banner or would they not?
Just call him Ziggler and have the music and make the crowd explode? I
think that would be the biggest pop, but Triple H might just ask him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what he wants to go with.
Yeah,
that's the way to approach it. Yeah, that's the way to approach it.
He's paid dues like almost no one else in the WWE history.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's a
who
dead
else
horse.
was in that company for that long, being that good in every facet?
That's what I mean.
And just propping everybody else up around.
It's a dead horse. We literally we basically suck Ziggler off every episode. It seems like
he's too good, man. And the second he got to TNA, shocker. One of the best guys in the company and was instantly champion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you gotta wait for Joe Hendry to show up before he
Hendry's incredible too, man.
He is great, man. I went back and watched like some of the shit he was doing on the indies.
He's
with like song parodies and all this shit. Man.
Even on TNA. The feud he had with what's his face? That huge dude who had his most famous thing was a botch. When he jumped over the ropes and his feet caught the ropes, he just fell down.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
He was in a feud with that guy?
He feuded with him on TNA because that dude came to TNA, and that guy's actually pretty good. He's okay in the ring, but like as a dude, he seems cool. But he feuded with Hendry, and they traded songs back and forth, and the songs were amazing. But Hendry's is the one.
That type of shit is hilarious.
Yeah,
that he just tries to
like makes fun of him for his botches and shit in the song. So good, dude. And he took it on like that dude took it in stride and was a totally on board with it.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do though.
Yeah, I wish I feel bad. I don't know that dude's name off the top of my head because he's good. He is actually decent. He got a lot of hate that I don't think he rightfully deserved. I thought he was better than that.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting that they bring him back with that name, Fandango back.
Wasn't it like Top Dollar or some shit? The guy's name, or was that the faction he was in? It was some bullshit.
It sounds like a faction,
but his gimmick just didn't. He got released because he just didn't connect. You know?
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It wasn't right. It wasn't a good fit. That happens all the time, man. When you have a roster as stacked as WWE does. They're going to bring in new guys, and they're going to release old guys, and they're going to be rotating roster because they're trying to find as many people that they can turn into stars as they can. And they've shown that they know how to fucking turn dudes into stars now more than ever. Yeah. Under Triple H and the new regime there, everything has just been so firing on all cylinders in a positive way, and everybody's saying it, you know?
Yeah, and it's like even the people that are not built as stars, like you still pay attention to them because they still have something going on.
He doesn't let anybody just do zero unless they're, and if they are, he'll release them happily and go, I want you to go do something else. And maybe you come back.
Yeah.
Maybe you end up back here. Look at Drew McIntyre.
I mean, you could think, I could probably think of a bunch of people
fought his way back. Cody fought his way back. It can be done.
Well, there's definitely
it's easier now.
There's definitely plenty that are floating around, but they're also somewhat involved, like Piper Niven or like some of these guys that like just floating somewhere.
Piper's got a good thing going because she's the sidekick with Chelsea.
Yeah, they're
Chelsea's
involved in something, right?
Yeah, they're involved in something. Piper's really good, man. She's really good. I want to see them do more with her.
I wonder about her. Maybe like mic ability, but I think it doesn't matter with her build and that kind of shit. So
she's a powerhouse,
right? So I don't think it necessarily matters. I think when you put her with Chelsea Green, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and they've just been really good together.
Yeah,
Chelsea Green is just incredible,
dude. Yeah,
she's so good, man.
Yeah, she definitely deserves that title too.
Yeah, that's super long overdue. what was I just going to say? Oh, the other people, though, that got released from AEW. So Ricky Starks, he got released literally the next second. He was like, I'm on NXT.
Yeah.
But Miro, Rusev got released and instantly posted a picture of him chilling with Sheamus, which they're great friends. I would love to see Rusev come back. I thought he was amazing, dude. And he was over in WWE, and Vince just for some reason went, all I care about is his wife. I've got to fuck his wife, and we've got to show people we got to cuck him on TV and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have just made him a badass like he was originally.
Yep.
I loved Rusev. And I love Miro, and I hope he comes back as Rusev.
Yeah.
And then
he was a big part of just the show in general.
He was.
Huge part.
In that era, the end of Vince era, when it was like the shittiest of Vince times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rusev, he was a big deal.
Not by any fault of his own. Of Rusev, that is.
Well,
Vince,
you know, there was kind of a weird stage because you had that, and then you had like Jinder Mahal's reign, and then it was like,
which again, like I thought that was awesome. Jinder,
we were just so confused.
Was deserving.
Yeah. I just because I was watching with my buddy Bill, and like we were like, "What is?" He was like, "Jinder Mahal is
Dude, I popped so
right
hard. You have no idea. There's so much lore with me and like Mark Forbes. We've maintained for years that there's actually 2 Jinder Mahals.
Okay,
that they're twins, and we all will just fuck with each other and be like, dude, did you like when that happened? I was like, dude, Jinder won the title, and he goes, which one? And I'm like, whatever, bro. But yeah, but
there kind of
the reason why is because just we liked Jinder, thought it was a funny character, and he was decent.
Yeah, and
he wasn't very good on the mic.
What is he doing now?
Good on the mic.
Where's he at?
He's on the Indies, and he's doing good. He's not like on the Indies. I think the last place I saw him was in Mexico, I think.
I wonder how
for something, but he's doing it, man. He's hitting the road. He's doing
still
good.
Around, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever see him back, but I think I would like to see him come back, even if he just retires. Like I'd like to see him come back to WWE to finish his career, retire, and you know, maybe not go in the Hall of Fame or anything, but at least become like an Indian ambassador for the company. Because he's very good in that position. He's very professional.
Yeah, you could see that.
He's a good talker in interviews and stuff off camera.
Well, it wasn't a fluke. Like they didn't, you know what I mean?
The dude worked his ass off to get that.
They gave him a run for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just, you know, it was unexpected. That's all.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's what you want.
That is what you want. He came back and wrestled. Who did he wrestle right before they let him go? He came back and he did a segment with The Rock, and it was a hit, and he killed it. And then he came back and had a match with Seth because they advertised a former world champion was going to come out to wrestle Seth, and he had a match with Seth.
I vaguely remember that.
Wicked good, and then they released him like 2 weeks later. Yep, and he was like, "What can you do?"
But Rusev, I would like to see too, for sure.
Yeah. Now, who was the other person that got released from AEW at the same time? There was a third one. That was another AEW. Like what the? And conveniently not Rey Fenix, Penta's brother, who's been begging to get released.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna not let that happen."
Yeah. Phoenix is great, dude.
He's incredible, and it's gonna be the same deal. He's going to come over
when
the timing is right.
Too.
Dude, Penta is 0 to megastar in WWE. And he was on CVV, Chris Van Vliet, which is like, he's the king of
he was on there, He actually, his English isn't bad.
It's phenomenal now. And he seems like such a great dude with such a great mindset for how he's approaching everything coming to WWE.
Yeah.
And he was saying on there that when he came in right in the door, they were like, "Now let's talk to you about merchandise." And his merchandise numbers are already just
It was on the website the second he debuted.
That's right.
I looked it up. I was like, they're going to put his merch on there immediately.
You have a Penta mask and it sells hand over fist for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Just like Ray. And Rey can retire tomorrow, and 30 years from now, they're going to sell Rey Mysterio Jr. masks just all day, every day.
I mean, it's perfect because he has because you get the look. He has a catchphrase. Like, there's everything.
He's just waiting to be a top guy. Ready and wait. And that's why they brought him in, and they put him immediately on the main roster and stuff, because they had something to put him there. Ricky is not Penta. Ricky's been wrestling for like 15 years too.
Yeah.
But he has only recently approached visibility as
it's really crazy,
prospect.
Like, to see how big Penta got over with the fans quickly. Because they're WWE fans. Yes. Like, there's a lot of WWE fans, not wrestling fans. There's a difference.
There is.
And I think they're learning about him at the same time as people who already know who he is, and the people who know who he is obviously blow up the fucking roof when he shows up.
The match he had with Chad Gable, as his first guy, was genius to have him with Chad.
And when you blow off the roof like that, the people who don't know who he is, now they're like, oh shit, this is a guy to pay attention to.
You treat him like a big deal, and they're gonna go, oh, this guy's a big deal. Okay.
And he's won like 3 or 4 matches already.
And it's the same thing they just did with Ricky, though. To be fair, it kind of is.
Well,
he hasn't a match yet, but he came in. The crowd went fucking crazy. The commentators were like, holy shit. And then he caught a great promo, simple and to the point. He didn't even have to say his name. The crowd was just chanting Ricky to him.
Yeah, and I think it's smart to go to NXT.
It instantly made him look like a huge deal. Instantly.
Doesn't have to be a SmackDown debut, or it doesn't have to be a Raw debut.
He will be instantly challenging for the NXT title.
Just introduce him, But there's different degrees of like introducing people. Some guys you can do that with.
The thing is,
like Joe Hendry could show up on Raw.
He's already introduced. He could show up on Raw tomorrow and just walk into a feud, and they go, "Yo, it's Joe Hendry. We pop huge, and we already all know him, Royal Rumble and shit."
He's that's crazy.
Yep,
he's a TNA talent, and he's already over.
He's already made. He's already over in WWE as a TNA talent. He's TNA World Champion right now. Easy money.
I loved that he came out with the belt.
Me too. And I love the deal. Like, this deal with TNA
this whole thing's great.
Unprecedented.
I wish I had Access TV. I don't know how.
I know, man. I want to watch it. So here's another crazy thing to talk about super quick, is that on the other side of the world, in Japan, all of the major Japanese wrestling promotions just joined and merged. I believe it includes New Japan too.
So NJPW, is it going to be NJPW or what's going on?
I don't know enough. I'm going to have to research that more. I just heard about this like within the past couple days. But apparently all of the major companies in Japan just merged to create one huge company.
Well, that's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, Japan has some of the best pro wrestling in the world. They have some of the longest history with pro wrestling. And they have some of the best pro wrestling fans and fandom and support for wrestlers and for wrestling.
Yeah.
Japan is one of the holy lands of wrestling as an industry. So anything to make that more strong and to get more visibility in the global market is necessary.
NJPW was the big one over there. And it's like, but if you can
it's not the only one.
Yeah.
And it's not the only one that deserves to get the view.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, just like WWE, WWE is the big. It's the NFL.
And having them sign this deal with TNA is so huge because it required a lack of ego on all sides.
On both ends.
And an admission of reality. Like, WWE can go, here's our numbers. So how about we figure out a deal with you guys?
Yeah.
And we will help you guys get your numbers up. Because you're not our competition, we can help you.
Right.
You know what I mean? WWE never has to do that deal one time. The fact that they're doing it is a very cool thing and a great sign of the way that WWE wants to operate now.
Yeah. And it's interesting that TNA, I mean, it's a win for both brands.
It
really.
Is.
And I don't
that's
understand.
The thing. There's so much to benefit WWE out of it.
Yeah.
Other than, like, they're not going to get a rub from it. but it still benefits them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And yeah, it's not your talent, but you can still showcase them on your stage. And NXT is the perfect place for that because
TNA has benefited so massively from this deal, though.
Well, TNA could be their NXT if they wanted it to be. Like that's basically the same level. They're kind of on the same tier.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely they are. Which is great.
Yeah.
TNA is great and they're doing great things. They're in a great spot. And there's nothing wrong with that.
But you can use it as another development platform too, if you think about it. That's kind of what they're doing. And
it is.
They're not telling TNA that you're our development platform.
No, but
they're just saying like
they might even be saying, "Hey,
maybe they are." But
if guys if their deals are up and we think they're legit, we're going to offer them contracts.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're gonna.
Right. So that's all they're doing is using it as another farm team.
I think one of the biggest deal signings WWE's had recently also is Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be a huge deal, man.
Yeah.
She was like
my concern now is you're starting to get so much talent. Like you gotta have
but it harkens back to what we were just talking about earlier with having the bi-weekly storyline rotation.
Yeah.
If you have enough people, everybody gets to have big stories, but now they're bi-weekly, so now your guys don't have to work as much.
Yeah.
And the audience isn't going to forget, but they're also not going to get oversaturated. I think it's genius, man. It's been perfect. They're loading up the roster. I kind of can't believe they
never did that before, to be honest with you.
I'm surprised no one
because like they're like, well, we can split brands and that way we can have different storylines, but they never were like, let's do bi-weekly storyline shows. And I don't think that's necessarily the formula, but that seems to be the way that they're
it's not it just seems to be it's not set in stone, but it's the rhythm they're setting. And it's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It hurts or it helps with hurting talent by oversaturating the audience with them because they're only every other week. You know, so you don't have them too much in your face. And also, I keep saying it, I'm beating a dead horse. The time off for the guys is a big deal for the men and women, rather. But
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is you get extra time off.
No, people are going to get burned out less. They're going to have more time with their families,
and your creative has more time.
Yep, creative has more to work with. You can intermingle things at different points. There's just so much more opportunity.
So on Raw this week, AJ Styles showed up, and he is ripped, dude. He's shredded. In wicked good shape.
Absolutely shredded. Yep.
He's in such good shape, dude. He is buff.
He's ready for action.
Holy shit!
And he started talking shit to Dom, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
which I love the idea. Please give me Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles.
That is a good move because we need Dom's push to start a little bit.
We need him to get any amount of push. Yeah. And I love that things are getting very shaky with the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Very shaky. They are like about to just blow off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Finn is an interesting case there because it's like,
he's so standoffish with literally everybody in the group.
Yeah, and it's weird because Finn Balor as a character is so odd because it's like he had Demon Finn and there was like this huge we had title reigns and like now he's just like a guy in Judgment Day.
But he's still so
it's
good.
Very weird.
He's just so good.
And he just seems to be he's one of the leftovers, one of the few leftover. Him and Dom and Carlito came out at the same time. That's what happened.
Carlito is the only thing that scares me with the Judgment Day breaking up. Because
because he has nowhere to go.
I've got to see him spend the rest of his career not chasing titles, barely wrestling, and being the guy in the back playing Super Nintendo and shit and eating apples or eating pizza or whatever. And then he turns around and is like, huh?
Yeah.
Like he is unbelievable as he is right now. Just the like aloof, nonchalant dude. But then when he gets in the ring, he's nasty.
He could stick with Dom.
He could.
I mean, if you do that. Because I mean, eventually they're going to have a Liv and Dom breakup scenario.
Or they break off from the Judgment Day and it's just Dom, Liv,
Carlito
Raquel
could just be
Carlito.
Dom's fucking
just be his
manager.
Yeah, the same way that Raquel is with Liv.
Yeah.
Have Carlito do the same for Dom.
Yeah.
And Carlito thinks that Raquel's not.
Yeah.
He's constantly fucking saying funny shit to her and giving her weird looks, and she's like, "What the fuck is wrong?"
I think
with
this
guy?
is like they've done a good job with comic relief too.
They have without it soiling characters and making them not still be credible. Even with R-Truth, who is the funniest comedy character ever, he's the greatest comedy actor of all time. I don't know how you could even try to debate it.
Yeah,
R-Truth, and you can put him in a match, and he's still so good in the ring, and he's believable. You can have him win a match, and no one's going to question it because he's fucking shredded. He's jacked, and he can work. He is the guy that I'm like, how has he never been world champ?
Jericho and Owens
in WWE, he's been world champ.
I think Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens together was
some of the best
comedy
shit. Yep.
With the list and fucking
Jericho's a really good example of a guy who's hysterical.
Yeah.
And generally does stuff that leans towards comedy, but is super believable. And it's in character.
Super in character.
Yeah. He has always been hilarious. And Bayley, at that matter, too, is very similar to Jericho in that way, where she is genuinely wicked funny and says hilarious, like schoolyard insults and shit at people. And makes you laugh, but then is super credible in the ring as a champion. Like she's very believable as a main eventer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some guys that, like Apollo Crews. Like there's people that are just showing up backstage and you're just seeing them once in a while.
Yeah.
And you're like, why are they even? He's a guy that I think is going to get.
How is he not released? Yeah. I know that's mean.
I wonder if they're just
Apollo. I think he's also shredded and is nasty in the ring.
But why leave him? But why keep shoehorning him in on TV and not release? Like if you're
just let him go try anything.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. If you're gonna plan on releasing him, don't keep showing him on TV.
Just send him to AEW, where he never has to have a mic in his face. He never has to cut a good promo.
Yeah, and he can just flip a bunch of times.
They don't give a shit about good promos over there or good storylines. And just have him cater to the fan base that wants you to do flips every move.
I think he would do well.
I think he would do very well. And I know that's harsh, the way that comes out, but everything I just said is objective fact. It's not my opinion. Like,
no, that's AEW what they
doesn't give a shit about storylines, doesn't give a shit about guys being good at promos, and they want you to just be maxed out in the ring.
Yeah,
and he's maxed out in the ring. That's fine. So have him go over there and have all his dream matches and shit.
Yeah, he's just one of those freaks, man.
He's a freak athlete in the ring.
Just crazy. When you can be a high flyer and also like a powerhouse, it's fucking that's so.
That's
awesome.
A crazy combo.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Too Cold Scorpio. He was a very innovative high flyer who was big enough and strong enough to do power moves too.
That's an interesting name that's a deep dive right
there. Dude, he was so sick. Flash Funk when we were kids in the 90s. He was sick, man. He is a badass wrestler, man. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, man. People know though. People, I think real wrestling fans, like OGs, they fucking know.
Yeah.
I say OGs. There's like 40 generations of OGs now. But you know what I mean. Anybody our generation that grew up in the 90s or before.
Well, it was weird back then, dude. You had like guys that could get like huge pops. But like the Worm, just doing the Worm.
Got him.
All of a sudden, everybody's going, and it was giant. People are like literally like blasting off. Out
one of the craziest crowd pops I've ever seen is Scotty Too Hotty doing the Worm. Yeah. One of the craziest crowd reactions I've ever seen. Literally like building shaking.
Yeah.
You cameras watch that and you're shaking.
Like, what? And he's
crowd
just
going crazy. Like when super random, but one of my favorite moments in wrestling ever. Angle's debut on TNA, right? Way smaller crowd.
Yeah.
But what I'm picking out specifically is the reason I bring it up. If you watch Angle's debut, there's like a bunch of Chads in the front row on hard cam that are going so insane for Angle. Like they're originally standing, have the guardrail, flipping out under the guardrail, spinning their shirts, screaming and shit, right? That is the reaction of 15,000.
Yeah.
There's 0 people not reacting like those guys when Scotty 2 Hotty's doing the worm.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, the worm is getting guys to go that raged out for it.
Because it has everything.
Yeah.
It has everything.
Yep.
It has like flair. It's like got comedy.
Yeah,
it's fucking, I don't know, man.
It does. It's like the rock bottom where you know that move doesn't hurt and is not reasonable.
People's elbow.
The people's elbow, yeah.
Like, because it's got
not the rock bottom.
It's got like a routine before it. There's like a.
It's just this unique type of thing you can do in pro wrestling that the crowd is gonna explode for.
Yeah, and then because the people's elbow is so weird because it's just an elbow.
One of the greatest finishers ever, though.
It's just an elbow, like
it's one of the greatest finishers ever. It's all about the setup. It's all about the fact that you can, and it's I liken it to great movies and it's storytelling.
It's like a joke.
Great storytelling.
You can have a joke that hits really hard, and the line isn't great, but the delivery is what does it.
The delivery, it's the setup of like you don't know when it's coming. The match is happening, all this fast movement, and then all of a sudden you realize whatever happened ended with the guy in the middle of the ring and the Rock stands over him, and the crowd goes, oh!
When he kicks the shoulder.
He kicks the shoulder, and he's just got the like. That's why it works, dude. That's why it works. Gives me fucking goosebumps thinking about it.
The elbow pad, dude.
That is like in-ring storytelling mastery. You can take a move that the viewer knows. That's not a real fighting move.
Yeah.
It's not about that.
Well, what you're doing is
a moment. You're creating a moment.
Yeah, you're taking the finisher and you're milking it and widening that way out.
It's the anticipation. It's the setup. It's the tell. It's Shawn Michaels stomping his foot for the chin music, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, anything. Undertaker standing with his hand up, you know?
Yep.
It's like, and the cool thing about that kind of stuff is you can break out of it and have someone.
You can use it a million ways. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
The worm, man.
The worm is hilarious,
man. Fucking worm. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's one of the craziest crowd reactions I've ever seen is him doing the worm in like peak Attitude Era.
Logan Paul's match with Rey Mysterio was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And he
debuted a new finisher and it's incredible.
Yeah. Pat McAfee called it the Pulverizer.
Yeah, that's a good name.
It is sick. It's like a backdrop and then he like switches into a DDT.
Yeah. Yep. It's nasty.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. I was like, that was absolutely sick.
Everything he does is perfect. And
dude,
laser smooth.
You can't deny this guy.
No, he's undeniable. And seeing
and
him
I think he's going
to be in the Elimination Chamber, and I go, yup.
Yeah.
That's. I promise you that guy's
jumping
off the moment that's gonna blow people's minds.
Yeah, he's definitely jumping off of something.
You know who else I'd love to see be in Elimination Chamber, seeing they don't have everybody picked yet? Fucking Penta. How insane would that be? I know he just came in, but he would be a great guy to go, yup. He's got a qualifying match. He's red hot right now.
Give him a qualifying match.
Take a guess if that guy would do something nasty in the Elimination Chamber.
Something out.
Yep.
I saw footage like the other day of some of the guys like looking at their first Elimination Chamber. Triple H talking to Jericho.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Talking about like what they could do with it.
And Triple H, the look on his face for that, he's going, someone's going to do it. Or is it Booker T? Booker T's sitting there just very stoic, just chilling like, yep. And then the one time he chimes in, he just goes, dude, somebody's going to get fucked up in this match, man. I don't feel like, you can tell they're all looking at it going, this is fucked. This is dangerous.
It's a wild structure.
That match still is one of the it is one of the most dangerous matches in WWE.
Yeah,
like real danger.
Yeah.
Every single fucking time somebody ends up getting injured from it.
Yeah,
like always, literally always somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, well, we still have injuries from the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Because is it Tongaloa is out still from that.
From War Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it War Games?
Yeah, he's still out from that. Yeah,
dude, that's crazy. Yeah, dude, it ain't safe.
I mean, I think Fatu even got injured during that match. He had like a toe issue and he was out for a little while.
Same with Bronson in the War. Well, that was War Games. That was War Games. Yeah, but Bronson fucking fucked his foot up or whatever. We'll see his ass back, guaranteed.
Yeah,
and he was just starting to take off.
He was just going on a big thing.
I don't think they'll forget about that, though. When he shows up, he's going to piss pound somebody's poor ass so bad and be right back, dude.
Yeah, he'd be another one that's interesting.
I feel so sorry for the poor bastard, the fucking Akira Tozawa or some shit.
That has to get fucking
that has to take all the tsunamis.
7 times.
Yeah. I love Akira Tozawa, by the way. I think he's hilarious. Yeah. And he's good in the ring. He's really good.
It was cool that that's the way they put speed into the Rumble. They have him Tozawa get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sweet. But Logan Paul's match was great, dude. I was just fucking
absolutely.
You can't like people.
And, the
people
big finisher is awesome too. But
there's no more.
The match in general is just It's already done and over with. There is no discussion.
I think it was a big moment for him to.
Yeah.
It was a main event, and you're working with Ray. Like Ray is a great guy to work with in this situation.
Yeah,
and I think it's just perfect for because there's a lot of fans that still don't like just because it's Logan Paul.
Yeah, and he's never beating that.
Right, but you can now. This was a good way to really display his talents, especially on Netflix and all that stuff.
A main event match against Ray.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Who came? Oh, and then the Street Profits come out. This is the best part. Street Profits run out and they attack Ray out of nowhere, and then it just goes to credits and ends.
No, it was the New Day.
Oh, it was the New Day. Sorry,
it was like literally, and it faded to black.
Yeah, and I saw that and went, what? They chose to end it like that.
Yeah.
The New Day comes out and attacks Ray, and then it just ends. And I was
wondering what was going on. I had to go back, and I was like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah, it was such a great ending.
What just happened?
It was such a great ending.
Yeah, that
was left you going, wait, what?
I had that right.
Yeah,
here.
New Day, yes.
Yeah, what was that all
New
about?
Day turning heel has been amazing.
Yeah,
they're phenomenal. Shocker. You know what I mean?
It was just kind of a weird spot. Well, no, I guess it wasn't because he beat Ray. They had that match a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I understand why they jumped Ray. It was just a very funny. You know that they can go as long as they want now, which makes you know they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's why it's interesting. It's like, what? They went to credits,
they
right?
chose
as they jump them.
Cut it. Like,
yeah,
that was interesting.
I love it. I love that shit.
Yeah, because it leaves you something else to think about.
And then they can put it up on YouTube and go, here's the aftermath.
Yeah, and go, people were there, so they know what happened. People who were there.
Yeah,
someone got it on their phone.
Someone saw it. Someone saw the full thing.
I'm sure you could search it. You probably could find it right here on YouTube.
Probably.
I don't know. That's it for my notes. We did an hour.
Yeah, that's it for me too. We covered everything I wanted to talk about.
Sick.
Hell yeah. That was a good episode.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like we get into like a flow state and we just keep going.
You just go, and that's a great sign of a good episode though, you know?
Yeah.
And also everything has just been awesome lately.
Yeah,
there's so much good shit. You could talk forever and not cover everything going on.
I know. And that's the thing is we only talk about WWE most of the time.
And what's cool is, but
and it's like, but if we did, we'd have a 4-hour podcast if we were trying to cover AEW.
Maybe someday,
I would love
if we
to.
were able to do this as our living.
Yeah, I would be able to. I
would do it in a heartbeat.
If this was my job, dude, it's like I would have TNA Plus,
a TNA only show.
Yeah, I'd have A&E. I'd have fucking.
And we would do multiple episodes every week where we're doing one show dedicated to each company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would in a heartbeat. I'd go. Now we're doing. This is our AEW themed show where we watch AEW. And we talk about all that. But when I have a full-time job also, and I'm in a band that's like producing and doing stuff, it's
exactly.
not, I just don't have the time right now for like 4 episodes a week every week.
No, I work 12 hours a day.
Oh, man.
By myself. It's like, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So if you want to make that happen,
you can support us.
Yeah, you can go ahead and
nice.
go to burninghammerwrestling.com.
Yeah.
You can subscribe, definitely like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, definitely do that.
Clearshotstudios.com. You can go to w.gg.
And keep engaging, man. The shorts always kill. We love the comments. We love the engagement, and we will talk to people in the comments and stuff.
Yeah,
love all that shit.
I try to respond to them.
Yep, I try to. I try to check it out and
I'm
respond
gonna,
to stuff.
yeah, I
if
want
I
to
see
give
anything
you
worth responding to.
I'm gonna try and give you access to the Instagram so that you can respond. When I respond, I like to just put the an S at the end so people know who it is.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
That way we can.
I love that shit.
Just because sometimes, and you have people who have interesting takes.
Yeah.
And definitely controversial
but that creates
takes.
Funny
That's
combo, dude.
Yeah. And we want controversy.
We do. We
ultimately
we talk about
everybody has different wrestling opinions.
We talk about it all the time how it's so nice being in the wrestling space because you're never going to not have something to you always have something to talk about.
You have fresh content every week.
Constant, different, varying opinions, and you can debate it till you're blue in the face, and you'll always be able to have that space to do it. And we want to participate in that. That's no problem.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole intention. Is
we're not coming on here faking anything. We're not coming on here doing any rage bait or anything. You don't have to, because we're just coming out calling it how we see it.
It's gonna be
and
controversial.
We get to have those conversations with our audience, and that's the best part.
Yeah,
I love talking about it with the audience and debating and hearing what they think.
And sometimes when you say some shit that you don't think is controversial, it ends up being.
And then you find out, oh wow, that's a weird take. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
So, yeah, we enjoy doing this, is what we're trying to say.
That's the point. We love doing this. We're going to keep doing it. It's not the only thing that's work about it is just, making the time to get together
physically
to do
doing
it when you have other jobs and shit.
Yeah.
But it's worth it to us. So we're here and we're going to stay here.
There you go. That's it, everybody. BurningHammerWrestling.com. Check it out. That's it. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
Later.
Peace.